result ends up being the same. People in this town support the schools. Your town hall, guess what? That's an old school. Not everybody knows that, but I always enjoy when Brendan brings it up. We have our town meeting, we have our select board meetings every 2 weeks in an old school. And the reason why it's there is because someone's wife believed that education was that important, and they decided to make that building. So again, I don't understand why people are surprised at these outcomes, and it's not some kind of a tyranny. It's the majority of the people just simply support the schools, and no matter how you change the system, that's not going to change. And it's not democratic to continue to try to find ways to change the outcome without respecting the fact that people have turned down these warrant articles year after year after year, and people continue to support these budgets year after year after year. Eventually, you just have to accept yes.
Thank you. Ma'am?
Thank you. Kate Elkins, 97 Mason Road. Just speaking on behalf of my personal opinion, not my finance position. And I just have to say that I support this article. We, again, for folks that are maybe new to this process, as we come here tonight, we discuss, we have rich conversations, we hear from both sides, we debate each other. And that could be, for example, what we heard tonight on the default budget. We heard that we may need to cut a teacher if we were to vote for the default budget. And so just so that we're all clear, then that goes, so we've all discussed, as Ed said, you know, the vegetarian and diet analogy, but in the fact is that's going to go to the voters who have not come here tonight, who have not watched the recording, who have not looked at the minutes, who have not been in any of the school board meetings, and they're going to say, you know what? I don't want to pay taxes. And they have no idea what it means, as one of our previous folks mentioned, what the repercussions are. They just vote simply on the language that they see, and that's why it is so important to vote this, to vote on this and to support this, because it is just so deceiving. It's so deceiving, this mechanism that that we would vote, and being a small community, I think it's just such a disservice to use this this mechanism of voting. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sir?
Hi, I would like to stand in support of Article 8.
And your name is?
I'm sorry?
Your name?
Tyler Frediani.
Thank you.
Road.
I'll learn it one of these days.
It's okay. We've addressed this idea of the difference between what happens here and what makes it to the ballot. And in particular, I really want to stress that when it comes to something like the first articles we discussed tonight, these statutory budget items that you would think, because the language is very particular, that would mean that there's very little wordsmithing to be done. But the reality of what happens is that only one side at the end of the deliberative session is going to propose the number they wanted to see on that ballot. The default budget is, in almost all circumstances, not the number that anyone walked into this meeting being okay with. There are people in here who wanted to fight for the budget that the school board supported and make sure that that appeared on the ballot. There are also people who wanted to see it amended to alleviate our tax burden. But there wasn't really anyone here saying that a default budget is okay. And I understand this because we're here to discuss the articles, but the reality is what appears on the ballot is a decision between an option that no one wants and one of the two sides of the argument from this session here. So it stands to reason that the ballot will never reflect the actual discussion that needs to be had. So I do oppose SB2 and I support this article.
Thank you very much, sir.
Melanie LeBake, 2 McDaniels Drive. I just want to say, first of all, that I support everyone's right to vote. My ancestors, your ancestors fought and died so that people have the right to vote. So it is very important. But I will also say that we have experienced firsthand changes in or language that goes on to an SB2 ballot. And I have one from 2023. The original petition said to prevent taxpayer dollars from funding lobbyists against the interest of parents and citizens, shall the Brookline School District zero out budget line item dues. And we heard it also today. Because we were at deliberative session, and fortunately we were, the language was changed to prevent taxpayer dollars from funding the Brookline School District's portion of SAU 41's membership in the New Hampshire School Board Association. Shall the Brookline School District zero out budget item dues, and then 102310810000. But this is the kind of stuff that is why SB2 can be very dangerous. Intentional or not, this is misinformation. We will have misinformed voters. And we have a room of, I don't know, probably 40 people, 50 people now voting on all of this, when we could have a meeting with our school, with all of our participants, and we can discuss and we can amend together. I don't think we're at the point now where SB2 is working